Hello, friends, and welcome to the Hopeless Gamer Podcast. Let's get right into it. First up this week, we have the all-new, never podcasted before, because the Sith always keep him busy. We have Darth Ghost.
Hi.
And, of course, we have the Targa Rally West legend, BassMstrAU.
How you going?
He hasn't crashed yet, so he's a legend. And, of course, you're stuck with me, because guess what? I run it. So, Xbox has had their 20th anniversary on the 15th of November. I was right on the date. And it showed some amazing memories from the last 2 decades of gaming. Along with this, they had a few announcements, such as the Halo live action series that's coming to Paramount Plus. They have over 70 new games on the backwards compatibility program, and 37 existing games are getting FPS boost. So probably the most exciting things to be announced out of this was also a 6-part documentary titled Power On, the story of Xbox. And of course, the Halo Infinite multiplayer going live during the stream. So which is also free to play, and anyone can hop into it at any time they want. So let's break it down from the highs and the lows and everything else. Like, who watched the stream or the video afterwards? Like, what did we think about the 20th anniversary celebrations from Xbox?
I thought it was quite well done because they paid tribute to a lot of people, like a lot of staff, a lot of places around the world that have done different things. It was quite well done, I thought. There was highlights from different content creators around the world as well that have all enjoyed Xbox over the years. And then obviously you got The Rock paying his tribute to it from when he first launched it and everything.
It's going to take more than a crowbar to get The Rock away from an Xbox, I think.
I think so, especially they keep bringing him into it and keeping him in it, so it's well for him.
Oh, he's donated. He donated 20 Series X's to Games Outreach for children when they first released.
Yeah,
they're like it might not be like on the forefront where he's on stage at E3 and stuff like that announcing new consoles and stuff, but he's since day one he's still like deep within their publicity and stuff like that.
He did after that whole presentation, and outside his actual house, he did a whole crowd of people outside his house that he'd give away right there and then. He gave away consoles, he gave away tequila, he gave away free passes, gave away $500 gift vouchers for Xbox. The whole lot off his doorstep. Yeah.
Of one of his houses.
One of them, but yes. Very well done, I thought. It was a good reflection over the years.
That means now that the backwards compatibility program is now finished, isn't it? They're not doing any more.
Oh god, no! There's still tons of games.
Oh, okay. I thought they were they were sort of starting to scale it back with the Series X.
When the Series X came out, they were scaling back original games and 360 games because they wanted to focus on making Xbox One games compatible with it.
Okay.
But apparently that's practically done now, and that's where like this big announcement of 70 OG and 360 games came into the backwards compatibility, and then they have FPS boost on top of that, which just utilizes the power of the Series X and Series S to get more frames, obviously. But yeah, so
with the resolution increases, it used to look like a really sharp square, will now be a rounded square.
Too bad GTA Trilogy couldn't do that.
Cool. Well, it's all right. Still a game missing from that list, though, I noticed, and I have it right here. I still have it in its original case. Okay. Here's my Kung Fu Chaos. Get back to me.
Hey, they put Cameo in there. They're getting closer.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm really excited for that documentary. Personally, like, if you ever watched High Scored, the documentary on Netflix about like how the whole gaming industry started and all that kind of stuff, they've got some Xbox stuff in there. And even that ET documentary, even that had some Xbox stuff in there because like Major Nelson and stuff were in the documentary as well. But no one's gone in depth with Xbox yet, so I'm really looking forward to watching that.
I think they've had the access to their head now to be able to
Yeah,
do what they do. And the preview of that doco and everything looks quite cool, where they're going about the guys like scootering around the Microsoft
it reminds me of Atari.
everywhere and stuff like that. And like the guys that were doing the DirectX were the guys that started Xbox, and they're like the rebels and everything. It's going to be an interesting.
They had Seamus on that freaking team, and he was renowned for kicking in doors of executive bloody meetings and shit, and he wasn't even an exec. Like he should have got fired 5 or 6 times over, but he's just like, no, we're doing this. I can't believe they went through.
Everybody's been a part of since one.
Yeah,
been a part of Xbox since it first came out. So to see that progression and see that time frame all the way through there, it's going to look pretty good. I'm looking forward to it as well.
Yeah,
well, like they did in the anniversary video where they went towards the end when they went through the whole history of Halo, and it showed from when it sort of first launched to all those people there queuing up for. I think a lot of it was Halo 3. Seemed to be the big popular one.
I think that was also the one that they had most footage for, because when you see any of the Halo 1 stuff, the freaking images were horrid.
I noticed that too. It's like, I think this was the build, not the finished product.
Yeah, well, the other side of it, I noticed that the launch of Halo Infinite, the multiplayer, I think caught a few people off guard, because there's just announcement after announcement the weeks after of all these pro teams that are like, yeah, we're coming back to it. We're coming to do it. And the teams and everything. I've even seen like COD pros and Apex pros and everything is just leaving teams and like, no, we're going back to Halo.
I'm waiting for Ninja to be signed to someone.
Well, you see that Ninja there's a ninja thing in there when you do so, when you hit someone from behind or something, you've been ninjaed.
Yeah. It's the back step. So if you get up in the air and do a back step behind them and then hit them in the back, it's a ninja, because apparently that was one of his signature moves, but I don't know how you do it without that freaking sprint armor thing.
There's also one other,
part of it.
The grapple, be Pathfinder.
I've seen some people do some interesting moves with the grapple, like grappling at vehicles and then just ripping people off vehicles and taking off with them and everything.
I've pulled off a couple of things like that, but something that like I did not realize until I watched back one of the multiplayer trailers was using the grapple to grab the flag and capture the flag.
Yes, that was the one I thought about too. Like,
you can do it from a fucking distance too. Like, I've grabbed some weapons and shit with it, and I've grabbed some people and like melee killed them and stuff like that. I never thought of doing it on the frickin' flag, and now I want to try it on the oddball as well.
Yeah, well, when I was playing a bit more of the Halo, the big battle one, I kept getting the bloody. If anyone played the Seed one yet, where you got to go, they're like these seeds drop, and you got to go capture them, and you got to put 6 of them in to then do a point up, and then do another 6 and do a point up, and then another 6 and do a point up, that sort of thing. And you got to go and steal them. You can steal them from the opposite team, and it's a really long. You wouldn't want to start a double XP thing before that one of those games, because you think you'd run out before the bloody game finishes, because it's a long-winded game, but it's still fun.
I did see a trick to that with using that Warthog that has no gun on it. It's just got people on it. It's got slots for those seeds on the back.
Oh, okay.
So you can put 2 on the back, I think. And then if you have 3 people carrying them, you can hop them in the passenger seats as well. So you got 5 or something. Or 6?
You got to get 6. You need 6 to do a point.
I think there is a way to carry 6 on that one thing, on that one
it wasn't
Warthog.
Available in any of the games. Played one earlier this morning, and that vehicle is not there yet.
Oh, really? I've seen a couple of people do
just
it.
Been legging it.
The silly thing is, I've been getting there's an achievement I think there is for driving. Is it 3 vehicles in the one game?
Is
I've been
there?
trying to get that, and I've been driving. I'm trying to work out, is it got to be 3 different types? Because I've like, or does the Warthog with the machine gun on it and the Warthog without any weapons on it both count as a Warthog? So I'm trying to
They've got different
work
names, so
work that one out if
I
there's
was thinking
different
they've got
names and
different
stuff.
names too. If they've got different names, it shouldn't
I
matter. But
can't get the achievement to pop, and I've been jumping on different vehicles through a whole game and everything. So the only thing I haven't worked out is if it's different sorts of vehicles, like for ones that are quad to a Warthog to the big Mincer thing that you can drive around in.
anyway, we're going to talk about Halo in a bit anyway. Let's go back to the stream.
I thought the actual the 20th cast was actually done quite well, and then finishing off with the band, the symphony orchestra in Australia doing the
Yeah, how much of an involvement did Xbox Australia have with this stream? Because, like, apart from Xbox in America, I think like most of the shit came out of Australia. We even had
most
our
of the stuff.
content creators in it.
Yeah, but most of the stuff's been coming out of Australia because the PR stunt for Forza Horizon 5 was they dropped the bloody quad out of the sky off a helicopter, and that was in Australia. So it seems like Australian Xbox are the ones thinking outside the box, or
Well, they've come up with
is
the
it
best
'cause
stuff in the past.
or is
they
it
got
just
a bigger
'cause-
budget this year around. They've probably got more money given to them to, hey, you can do more stuff.
yeah, start being creative and doing stupid stuff. Is a bigger budget.
But if you think about it, Xbox Australia's come up with some of the best like publicity things that you can think of. Like they were the ones who did the when the Xbox One came out, or was the One X, they did that little freaking bedroom thing in the middle of the park, and you could go and play the consoles and stuff before they came out. They did the onesies, both the Forza onesie and the Xbox gaming onesie.
Is it just because they do it in Australia? I'm only just thinking from like a time zone thing. Is like you can have it done in Australia, they can record the content and do the live part of it in Australia, and then they've got enough time to edit it and make it into videos for when it launches in America umpteen hours later.
I actually think it's because we've got no game developers in Australia, so Xbox Australia has to do something.
Yeah, that's true.
And
There is that aspect.
honestly, like if you look at like the people that work for Xbox Australia, apart from Jeremy Hinton, who's the head of it, I think he's still the head of it. Most of them were content creators in the past, or they were media experts or social media experts. There is barely a freaking developer amongst them.
So cheaper to do these things in Australia.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, they did the Assassin's Creed
cheaper than the US
parkour thing when that came out,
and it's easier to go find stuff to find areas to do everything is probably easier in Australia. You don't have to drive so far.
Even though Australia's a big wide open place.
All I'm saying is you can go out to find if you want to go and do something like, I don't know, like they did with Forza. They dropped the bloody car thing off a helicopter. You're not traveling hours upon hours to go find an area to do something like that.
I mean, also like the Sydney Youth Orchestra that did the Halo thing has also been dubbed as one of the best orchestras in the world. So maybe that was also a part of it. And honestly, with COVID over there, when was the last time they did a frickin' show?
The video was interesting part of it, but with those bloody light rods that they had stuck in around them all. And I'm like, would that be, they're trying to play and these bloody LED lights are just going nuts everywhere. And I'm like, that would have been interesting.
Oh, they would have had it memorized, like with their eyes closed before they got to that. Like, I don't normally talk about like ex-girlfriends or anything like that, but I used to date a cellist who was studying at the WA Performing Arts Academy. Before a concert and stuff like that, 3 months before, she would have the whole thing memorized. Like, she didn't even have to have the sheet music. She could play the cello perfectly without it. It's there. It's like a reference of where everyone else is. That's what I was told. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I also like that they had like the indigenous with the didgeridoo.
That was actually quite good.
That really made it sound really cool.
But
Good to see
that-
in that whole footage section. There was quite a lot of Australia in it, which was really cool. The armors being worn by people that were meticulously detailed was also very cool. It's good to see.
Like
It wasn't too long either. They didn't do like an hour and a half presentation on like E3 or anything like that. They kept it nice and short.
I think it was only
You
40
watch
minutes
30
long.
minutes.
Yeah, it was only like half hour, 45 minutes or whatever. So it was to the point and got what they needed to get across, I think. And then they dropped the whole Halo Infinite multiplayer is out now, which got which got leaked.
It did
I think,
get
a couple of
leaked.
days beforehand, but not
The day
everyone was
before, I think.
believing. Yeah, no one was actually believing that it was actually going to happen until they announced it and everything, and then it just went nuts after that.
When you told me about it, I was skeptical. I was very skeptical. There was
I said the exact same thing.
There was people on Twitter going like, oh, "This is going to be me when Halo doesn't drop," and it's just like gifs of like them sitting back laughing and stuff.
But it's certainly taken off like a house on fire, and the comments that I've been hearing about Halo Infinite has been quite good. The BR comments seem to have been thrown out the window because Halo Infinite has a good ranked system and people are enjoying playing the different modes.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like it's a lot to do with they got rid of a lot of the crap from like the newer Halo games like Armor Lock and stuff like that. Like you can't go in with a perk. Everyone is even at the beginning of a game.
I think they were just getting back to the originality of Halo.
It feels like Halo 3 multiplayer. Obviously,
you're not the first person that I've heard say that.
Practical.
Yeah. It does feel like that, honestly. And apart from like, Pathfinder want to be swinging around everywhere, just get shot in the freaking head because I can take out a Pathfinder from a mile away. Yes, this is an Apex reference for Halo.
The other side of it, how you finding the guns. I think there's just, you got to know how some guns work. Some guns actually seem to get their, whatever you want to call it, aim assist or whatever by being zoomed in, while others don't get any aim assist when they're ADS'd. So it's just like...
I think every gun has its own characteristics, and that's how it should be. I'm sick of like COD and shit like that it is literally just like every gun is the freaking same with a different fire rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or you put different perks on it. I don't think you can actually put perks on the Halo guns, which is a good thing.
No, that gun is how it is, which is great. But yeah, you got to have to learn. Like I've heard so many people say they hate the pistol because in the test flights, the pistol was OP as hell. Well, it was, and then it got nerfed, and now everyone freaking hates it. I've been destroying with that freaking thing.
I've been doing a clip on the AR and then flicking to the pistol and then just keep taking people out.
I don't even need to do that.
Go hide somewhere to reload.
If someone's like far enough away, like that, the AR is not going to be efficient, man. I'm just headshotting them with a pistol and they're dead. The only other gun
The difference I would think from the flight to the current was the aiming was a little longer to zoom in on, but apart from that, that would be my only complaint. But everything else still does the damage.
Oh yeah,
it does the hits.
The only thing you got to remember with Halo is it's meant to be hip fire.
Yes.
Yeah, and most of the people that I've seen complaining are the ones playing on mouse and keyboard because they took the aim assist away from them.
Good. They don't freaking need it.
They didn't need it anyway.
I've seen a lot of PC players and big content creators and stuff like that saying, no, I'm not playing mouse and keyboard, I'm playing controller because it doesn't feel like Halo on mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. The only people I've actually been seeing that been playing Halo on mouse and keyboard are people that don't know how to play on controller properly.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to because the controller side of things just seems to be a lot more... Is Halo. What makes Halo? It's the fun part of Halo is the controller and the I've been trying out the different button modes for having different things where you got the grenade on the triggers and the melee on the bumpers and stuff like that instead of having them on the buttons.
So that's going to do us all here for today. Darth, where can we find you and all your content that you might make? What do you stream?
All the socials, just under Darth Ghost.
The Darth Ghost?
Just Darth Ghost.
Darth Ghost.
Okay. Fair enough.
On all of the socials under that heading.
You streaming or anything?
Getting back into it, I'll probably start again, but that'll be only to YouTube. And
Are you moving to YouTube as well?
I sat on the fence for a very long time and decided that the Facebook doesn't work here. The the Twitch doesn't work. It's just more bites out of just being on YouTube. Basically, just people being more interactive. They just come and sit and stalk. They actually say things like, "Hey, how's it going?"
I've started a revolution, people. I was the first one
to YouTube.
I started the YouTube trend, and everyone's moving over with me. Anyway, Bass, where can we find you?
On all the socials is BassMstrAU. I might be getting a bit more streaming, and I've got a bit of a workload at the moment, so I've got to get through that. But maybe over the Christmas break, I'll get a few more streams in because there's a few of these games I really want to finish and level up.
Fair enough. And you can find me at birdyassassin on everything: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, even though I don't really use Facebook because who the hell wants all your data given away? And I am exclusively on YouTube gaming under birdyassassin as well. So remember, if there's anything cool that you want to send us or anything you want to tell us, you can always email us at podcast@essentialgamer.com.au, or you can find us on social media at essentialgamerau on Instagram and Facebook, or essentialgameau on Twitter. So until next time, we see you with the next episode. Bye for now.
See ya.